Hi guys, welcome to Zaketissimo. I'm Andy and today's video is gonna be a review because I've just received these pencils and I'm gonna review them today. So they are the Woomer set of 72 colored pencil, and let's see the pencils. The set came in a box and with bubble wrap and all the packaging. The box came in pristine condition, no damage, no nothing. And let's see, here we have good light fastness, soft core, artist quality and saturated colors. And let's see the colors. I already took a pic to look at them. So we have 72 colors, just so we can see them like this, see all the colors. And let's take a lighter and a darker one just to see the aesthetics of the pencil. So we do have golden ink on the pencil. We have the color code and the color name. I feel like it's visible on both dark and light pencils, the writing. Maybe not so much on the darker ones, but it is visible. Maybe only if you have sight problems you can see blurry the golden on the darker ones, but other than that, the quality of the pencil, they seem fine quality in the hand. They do have a chunky core, as you can see, and the bottom is tucked in, so you have a cap on the bottom, you don't have the core exposed, so that's a good thing. The pencil do look quite pretty. I really like it. Okay, and now let's see. We do have a swatch, so underneath this cardboard we do have the swatch here. So I'm going to try to detach this so we can also swatch them in this swatch chart, the original swatch chart that the pencils came with. I don't know if I can do this or do I need to cut it. Oh, I can easily detach these and use I'm trying to detach it without ripping it, but I think I do need to rip it like this. Anyway, I will cut the ends so I can have the swatch chart. That's it. Okay, so inside this one, yeah, I can cut out these ends just so I can have a clear swatch chart. And let's swatch these colors just to see how they look like. I'm also going to swatch the white just because this cardstock is an off-white paper and I want to see if the white is opaque. And let's see that. You can see a little bit. Let's see on just on a sticker paper. Oh, the white is quite opaque. Okay. Okay, oh my god. I wasn't expecting that. Okay, let's continue swatching. This one is light cadmium yellow. I feel like it's a really soft core inside the pencil, but also the cardstock on which I'm swatching is quite, I don't know how to say it, mushy. The cardstock is being smushed under the pencil just because I don't have anything underneath this one. This neon yellow would do great for highlights, lemon yellow. Next we have cadmium yellow. Next we have sunburst yellow. Very pleasant to swatch them. Dark Naples Ochre. And I think they're wax based. They feel waxy. Dark Chrome Yellow. But not in a bad way, like in a... They glide very easily on the paper. Next we have Seashell Pink. Oh wait, I have another one here. Oh, I put the wrong pencil. Okay, nice pink. Next we have Pink Madder. And I think I'll speed up the swatch chart and I'll be back with you guys after I finish swatching all the pencils and give a small opinion about the colors that we have. So I'll be right back. Just enjoy the speedy coloring of the swatch chart. So I just finished swatching. Let me zoom you out. And I must say that whoever picked the colors for this set is genius, because I think it's the first set that I've seen that doesn't have a silver and a gold. We don't use those. We do not use those in coloring, the silver and the gold. They are just useless, and they just occupy a space that could be a useful color. So let's start from the yellows. We have a decent amount of yellows and we don't have the exaggerated amount of yellows. I see that a lot of sets have an exaggerated amount of yellows and reds. We don't use that much red and yellow. We have a decent amount for a 72 set. We have a cold yellow, another cold pale yellow, we have warm yellow, another warm medium yellow, a dark yellow that is warm. This is a cream, like a pale warm yellow, and then we go into the oranges, where we do have two oranges. We can also blend with this one. Then we go into some pinks. We have a light pink and a darker pink. We have these that can be used on a medium skin tone. We also have this one. This is my go-to color for skin tone and I absolutely love this color. We go into oranges. We have another orange here that we can blend with these ones and with this one for a blending, for a color combination. Then we go into the reds. We have one red, two reds, three reds. This is a cold red, this is a warm red, this is a medium red, and we can blend with these ones as well to create a transition. We go into the blues. We have a pale blue, perfect pale blue for sky. Then we go into medium blues, and we also have darker blues. Then we have two other pinks that are more in the purple side because we are going into the purples. Decent amount of purples for a 72 color chart. Then we go into the greens. We do have a neon lemon yellow here. Then we have the light greens. We have turquoise. These three can be used in a color combination. We also have these ones that are turquoise but more on the green side that can be used in a color combination. We also have natural greens like these two that can be used for grass, even this one for grass, for leaves, for more of a natural green. And we also have these darker turquoise. Then we also have ochres like Woomer brown, the sienna brown. This would go great as a shadow for skin tone for this one. We also have a cinnamon that is a more reddish brown, another warm brown, and we also have these three that are cold browns. Not a lot of pencil sets have cold browns, not even. I have sets of 180 colors that don't have a cold brown, so I love that. This is also genius for shadows. If you want to add shadow to any color, a color like this one could help you a lot. We also have this cadet blue that is a grayish bluish color. This is great if you want to create clouds or steam or smoke, something like this. This is very useful. And then we have two cold grays, and we also have warm grays here and the black. What I must say here is that obviously this is a very good color palette for a 72 set of pencils. We have a lot of pastel colors like this one, this one, this one. We have a lot of pastel colors. The pastel colors obviously contain more filler than the darker colors. The darker colors and the medium colors are very vibrant, but the pastel ones do contain a bit more filler in them. But the white is very opaque, so I must say that we can use this one for highlights. We will see how will they perform, how the white will perform over other colors, just to see the opacity. And I think we have a great color chart in this set. I think it's the best color chart that I've seen in a 72 set, in my humble opinion. I think I will just cut the margins. Give me 1 second. Okay, so now I cut up the swatch chart so it can fit in the box like this. Does it fit? Okay. So another thing that I wanted to say is that I was just looking at the pencil barrel as I was going through the colors in the swatch chart, and I just noticed that all of the colors are exactly identical with the barrels, so we don't even need a swatch chart because the colors are exactly like the barrels, and that is fantastic as well. I don't really understand that swatch chart because how I opened it, it starts like this and then you have to go on this side. Maybe I was supposed to cut them like this, or I think it would be better if it was like this and wrap around. I don't know, it's something, we don't even need a color chart, so yeah. Okay, let's find some pages to test them and to color with them. So I want to try the pencils in 3 types of paper. I want to try the pencils on Amazon paper, on Rita Berman paper, and on my paper that I print. It's a 160 GSM paper, and it's a really popular texture of a paper for the Hanna Karlsson, Maria Trolle, and so on. So, but I did want to try in the Amandine Young coloring book because I think these illustrations would fit with these pencils. I just want to try in different kind of paper and just to see how they will perform. And I also want to test them in Joshua Dunbar's book. I want to test them over alcohol markers just to see the opacity, and mostly in these Amazon printed papers, I usually use alcohol markers and pencil on top, so I just want to use the same technique. And I was thinking of this page just because it's cute, and it's also a page where we can try to do some highlights around the Christmas lights with that white, just to see how it will perform over other colors. So let's see, I'm gonna zoom you in a bit. And I'm just gonna base the whole illustration with alcohol markers, and I'll come back to use the pencil on top for shading and highlighting the illustration. So I just finished basing this one. It was really fast. And now let's shade with the pencils. And let's start with the Christmas tree. I'm just gonna use the pencils directly, not even using the swatch chart because all the barrels fit the color. So I'm gonna take this, what is this, juniper green, and I'm just going under these branches just to create some shadow under each layer. Pencils are working really great over the alcohol markers. I'll go with a darker green under these branches, but I also want to add some lighter green to accentuate some pins in the tree. And here I'm adding more shadows just because it's really underneath here. Okay, also adding some texture. Okay, and now I want to add some highlights with this chartreuse, and I'm going from trying to get some highlights in this bottom area of each branch, and I'm going in different directions, upwards and downwards, just so the highlights are more natural and not in a single direction. And I see that the lighter pencils on top of the medium color works really well. The pigment really sticks to this base of alcohol markers. And let's add some let's add this light salmon inside the red Christmas lights. And also I want to add around them like they're glowing, and it's working really great on top of this base. I can also cover the black lines pretty well. Nice. Next I'm taking this Caribbean Sea, this pale blue, just to fill inside, oops, inside this blue one, and also go around. But I think it would be better to do it with white because I already used a light blue here, and also go around so we can have a light effect around the bulb, and do the same with the yellow and around the bulb. Nice. Also I want to add some white for just for some extra texture on the branches. Okay, now let's shade the top ornament just so we can be done with that one. I left the wings white because I just wanna add some to create a silver effect. Just gonna go with some cold gray on top, and it's the light one. Oh no, it's the cadet blue. And I'm just going a bit with some shadow underneath and going lighter upwards as I go. And I'm just gonna use some white to blend this in. The white really blends the colors together. And for the dress, I'm just gonna use some dark Naples ochre, and just add a tiny bit of shading here and there, not too much, because I also want to add some white, just a little bit to highlight. The white is working great on top of everything, it's very pigmented. And let's also use some, where is it? Where is that color? This burnt ochre, just to add a bit of shading on the face's mouth and the hands. Can I also add a bit of blush to his face? Just a bit, and then blend everything with salmon pink. Okay, now I want to add shading to the red parts, and I'm gonna use this Madder Red Purple, and I'm just gonna add shading, minimal shading, because we already have a base. And I'm just leaving that medium red for the base, and I'm just adding shadows, but I also add some highlights. And trying to add shading to all of the red items here, that we have on the page. And now I want to pick the seashell pink and just highlight here and there. So the pencils are really pigmented. They really work on top of the marker base. Really opaque. So that's nice. Okay, let's shade the milk. I left it white just to shade it with just a bit of cold gray. Just a tiny bit so we can see that something is here. It's not empty. Okay. And maybe I can add some Caribbean Sea to the glass just to have a bit of texture here for the glass. And also let's shade this letter with cobalt tea blue. Just a tiny bit to add some shadows. And I also want to add some white to highlight here. Okay, let's also shade the pillow and here and there with some darker gray, and this is the cold gray 3. And I just want to do a minimal shading where some natural shadows would fall here and there. I'm trying to color in a really simple way this page just because it's a really tiny page, and that's how I color these tiny ones, especially the Create Space paper, because it's much easier to base them with alcohol markers and then go and shade with pencil. I'm also gonna use the Cadet Blue just to blend that darker gray and this white, and I'm also gonna use a bit of a white just to blend everything nicely. Okay, I think we need a darker gray for this part of the match. Or should we leave it like that? I think we can leave it like that. But I think it needs a darker brown. 1 second. Let's do this. Darker gray, sorry. And we'll leave it like that and maybe add some white, although this part of the matchbox isn't really glossy. Okay, we'll leave this and see what we can do. But let's shade these parts with the brown. Just adding some shadow here and there where I feel like the shadows would drop. Okay, and also here we would have shadows. You can get a really opaque layer if you burnish the page. Okay. we can try a wood texture, maybe? This would be fun. Okay, should we also do the wood texture on this side? Let's do it. It's looking cool, so we're gonna do it on this side as well. Okay, let's add some lighter colors to that wood texture. I'm using cream just to add some light. Oh my god, these pencils are really pigmented over this alcohol base. And I've just noticed that I didn't sharpen any of the pencils so far, so they do keep a good point. I didn't sharpen them at all, and I don't feel the need to so far. Okay, let's add some highlight on this box. Okay, I like this color for highlights. It's looking good on things. Let's also add this darker brown on this wood here, just a bit. Should we do anything to that fire there? Let's add some, what is this? Pale vermilion, just a tiny bit here. And I also want to add some orange. This is dark chrome yellow, and I'm gonna add this just a bit on the base here, and on top maybe we can use this cream just to blend everything. We can also add some acrylic markers on top for details. I did saw on their Amazon that they have a lot of offers. Like this set of pencils was like $29.99, and you had multiple offers like 10% off if you purchase anything else from them or something like that. And I was just going through their Amazon, and I saw that they also have acrylic markers. I think those would be fun to test. They were looking quite nice. Now I just picked up this light crimson just to do this plate here, but I also want some white to accentuate here and there. And now let's also shade these cookies just a tiny bit. Is this the same brown? It's burnt ochre. I don't think it's the same one. I didn't want the cookies to look like the wood. Just a tiny bit. And also let's add some highlights to the cookies. Let's add this salmon pink. I feel like I'm reaching for the same colors so far. Okay, let's also add some shading to this box. Something darker, like this dark brown. Just a tiny bit of shading. like this and here, and then just add some highlights just to make it more like a 3D effect. And for the highlights, let's use this seashell pink. My god, this is pigmented. They're very creamy, but the opacity of the lighter colors, I felt like when I was watching them, these paler colors, the pastel ones, had a lot of filler in them, and I wasn't expecting them to be that pigmented over a base of alcohol markers, to be honest. I wasn't expecting this, and the texture is really, it's opaque, but it's also buttery smooth. But when you look at it on the page, it looks like pastel pencils, but they aren't. They are really buttery. And that's really nice. Let's also add some shading to these parts here, just a bit, and then add some highlights as well. And I feel like the colors go so effortlessly on the page, I don't know how to say it. You don't get a lot of texture, only if you want. And also let's get more highlights in here, just because I like how this cream looks. Okay. We also have the skin of the mouse. Let's shade that one with this light cinnamon. Just a tiny bit here and there, because we are also gonna give him some highlights. He's sleeping so comfy. Okay, and let's go with some light salmon again. But I think this isn't light enough and it's too orangey. Let's go with white. Let's go for sure, and just add some highlights here and there on the mouse. He's looking so cute. Okay, and we also have the slippers. I want to add some shading there as well, just a bit here on this side. And blend it all together with this seashell pink. The colors are blending beautifully. They really blend into each other, you can smoosh them. And I think our page is done. So this is the page where we used alcohol markers as a base and then went over with the pencils for shading and for highlight. As you can see, highlight works really great on the alcohol base and it's very pigmented. So yeah, this is our first page that we tested, and I do want to test more. Let's see here, because we tested on alcohol marker base, but now I also want to test this page. And let me zoom you out a bit. So for this one, I want to color her like Cindy Lou Who. This is the pinups from Amandine Young, and I printed these ones. I have a tutorial on how to print and how to obtain this holographic cover if you want to see that video. So on this one, I want to color her like Cindy Lou Who, so I want to give her like a festive pink dress. Is it a dress? I don't know, but I also want to do her hair like light brown, like a natural brown, And let's start with the skin tone. And I'm gonna do some basing shading here and there. I told you I'm gonna use this color, the light cinnamon, for shadows, for medium skin tones, and I'm gonna do just that. And I think it's a wonderful color for skin tone, and we also have a lot of colors for skin tone, so you will see what I will use. And I'm coloring in a fast manner, to be honest, because I feel like these pencils are really buttery smooth and work really great with this type of paper, even without a base. So I'm doing some shading, some shadowing here on the forehead, just a tiny bit. Here on the lid. Should we add some makeup to her, just a bit? I like doing this cut crease here and tying this together with this part just for some light contouring. And adding more shading here under the cheekbones just to accentuate a bit, going with the shadows here, following the jawline under the lip here, and I also want some shadow here under the nose just a bit, and add that shadow above the tip of the nose. Maybe go with this shadow from the eyelids down the nose, just blend to not have a harsh line. And we also have shadows here on the neck, just a bit, and here over the collarbone. I think I pressed too much, have a bit of a sharp shadow there, but it's okay, we're gonna blend it with something lighter. Okay, and let's go here at the boob section. Let's add a bit of shading here, just a tiny bit, and let's imagine some collarbones here and add just a tiny bit of shading. And here between this fur. Okay, let's also add some contouring here to the jaw, not too much, just a tiny bit. And now we can come over with some, what should we use? Let's add some blush, and I want to add the blush over this shadow just a bit, and also add it going through the temples and under the eyes here. And I'm going heavy-handed on the margins here, but going lighter as I go to the center of the face. Okay, let's also use this lighter pink, the seashell pink, because previously I was using the pink madder for this part, and now I'm using the seashell pink just to soften it a bit and integrate it into the skin tone. Okay, I think we can also use this pink because it's soft enough to blend a bit these shadows. Okay, also let's blend here on the neck. And on the chest, going very light here because I don't wanna add too much shadow, but I do like the combination that it's giving for the skin tone with that pinky vibe. Okay, I think we also have skin tone here visible, so I'm going with the cinnamon, with the light cinnamon, just a bit here and here, and going with the seashell pink. Okay, and now I want to find a color that will work to finish the skin tone, the highlights of the skin tone. And let's see if we can find something light enough but not too yellow. Let's see with this one, with the baby pink. Let's see the baby pink. Maybe we can do the baby pink and then add a tiny bit of cream and white for the highlights. I think this baby pink is great for making the skin tone a bit cold, because that seashell pink that we used really warmed up the skin tone, and this one is more cold and it's making it more neutral, so that's good. So this harsh line here just disappeared because I smushed the colors together and they are working quite well together. Okay, now let's see with the cream. Is this the cream? No, it's the cadmium yellow. Where's the cream? This is the cream. I feel like it's too yellow. Let's just test a bit. It's a bit too yellow, but we can use this cream on the highlights and then just blend out with white. I also like this cream effect, how it's giving like a warm light is hitting the face, so I do like that. Okay, maybe she's on the stage. Okay, I like it. I like it. Okay, let's add just a bit more cream here and there. And now I just want to blend where we have this cream, just to blend it into the skin tone, add some highlights here and there. And I think her skin is looking great with this color combination. I'm also smudging and smooshing the colors together just to obtain a more uniform transition between the colors, and I think it's working great so far. Okay, now let's see what we can do with the eyelids, but first let's give her some eyebrows because she's looking weird. And I want to do the eyebrows the same color, the same color as the hair, so I'm using the sienna brown. That's looking great. Okay, so I use the sienna brown on the brows, and I'm leaving this one out so I won't forget to also use on the hair. And I want to do something on her eyelids. What should I do? I want to do her costume pink and maybe these lines with red and white. Could it work? I think it could work. But what should I do with her eyelids? Or I can do the bow green eyeshadow, green dress, and these lines to do with red and white. Okay, we're gonna do that because it's festive and I love it. And let's do with, what is this? This is deep cobalt green, and I want to give her a cut crease with this cobalt green. So we are going from the outside parts of the eyelid and leaving the center empty because we are going to come with, let's also leave these pencils out because I want to reuse them. The deep cobalt green, I leave it like this, and the chartreuse, just adding on the margins here, but I also want to keep some white space there. Okay, and I also want to add more depth to this cut crease, so I'm adding more light cinnamon here. Just a tiny bit, just to accentuate that cut crease, and blending it into the eyelid. Okay. Next, let's do her lips. I'd like her lips to be on the natural side, so I'm gonna use this burnt umber. But I'm using it quite light because I'm gonna use that light cinnamon. So I'm doing like an ombre effect. Okay, that's enough. And I'm going to take the cinnamon, the light cinnamon, and I'm gonna blend that brown in. For a natural baddie lip. Okay, and I think that's all for the face. What color should I give her eyes? Brown. Okay, let's do her eyes brown. And let's do her eyes with burnt umber. here on the top, leave the highlights. And then blend into this sienna brown, which we will also use for the hair. And I think we can also add some cream into her eyes, just down here a bit. And I also want to add some warm gray 3, just a bit here to make the eyes look more natural and more rounded, just adding light-handed. That's it. And I think we can do her hair now. I want to do her hair in a very natural way, so I'm gonna use the same combo as her eyes, but I think I want some red into her eyes, so I'm gonna add some Madder Red Purple, just a tiny bit. I feel like she needs more red here. The eyes were looking too similar to the lip combo. Okay. And now for the hair, I'm gonna use the burnt umber and the sienna brown. And I'm not focusing too much on hair texture. I'm just going heavy-handed from the start and then going lighter as I go, because we will blend these colors together. And I don't really feel like doing realistic hair texture. Oh my god, I forgot her ear. I always forget the ears. I'm gonna do it in a second. I went with light cinnamon, and now I'm going just a bit with the seashell pink, just to blend that in, and the cream for highlight here, and a bit of white. Okay, let's go back to the hair. I'm going really heavy-handed on the roots here, and then going lighter as I go. And we need to pick another color for the highlights, so I'm using this one for the shadowing, and the sienna brown for the midtones. And we also need a highlight color. Maybe the cream will work in combination with white, or maybe a pink. We'll see. Okay, let's also do the fringe here. Very buttery, these pencils. I can really do a smooth transition very effortlessly. Okay, let's do these parts here. Is this part of the hair or the bow? Oh, it's the hair. Okay, it is the hair. Okay, let's do this part as well, but here I also want to do a transition here from up here. Okay. And let's see for these pigtails, what can we do? Should we do from the center or no? We're doing like this. I still didn't sharpen any of the pencils. Okay, and let's see on this side. She's looking really festive with that eyeshadow. Maybe we can add some Posca later to make the eyeshadow a bit more glittery. Is this all of the hair? I think so. Yeah, it's all of the hair. Let's go with the sienna brown now. I think the sienna brown is really helping the hair achieve that natural brown color. And I think for the highlights we can use some pink and some white. And the smooth paper is working great with the pencils. Also end the fringe here. So I'm going heavy-handed on the roots, but I'm going lighter as I go. Okay, let's do the pigtails. I'm trying to leave also some white space just so we can add the highlights. But now that I'm looking, I think the cream would work great on the highlights. Let's also do these strands. And this bun up here. That's looking nice. Okay, now let's do the highlights. Let's see between the pink and the cream which one looks lighter. I like the pink. Let's also see this, yeah, the cream one. I also like the cream one. Let's do on this side cream, because we did the highlights on the face with the cream on this side, so we're gonna do the cream on this side just because we're imagining the light source is on this side. So we're gonna do the cream on this side and the pink on the other side, just because it looks great with both highlight colors. Let's do also here, also leaving some white space, just a bit. And in the fringe here, we're going halfway, and halfway we're gonna do pink. I think that looks interesting. Also with the pink, I'm leaving just a little bit of white, just for some texture. Okay, I like how this is looking. Okay, let's do some accessories. Let's do this belt. I'm using the top gray, and I want to do some shadowing here and there with this one. Like in the middle here and under here, and also use this burnt umber just to warm it up a bit. But also leaving some space for some lighter colors. Okay, and for the lighter colors, I do want to use, let's use this light cinnamon. That's an interesting combination. Okay, this would look interesting with the gold accent. Let's do a gold combination with burnt ochre. Next we'll do some light yellow ochre. And some of this yellow, cadmium yellow, and also leaving some white spaces for highlights. Okay, and let's do these parts with the top gray. 1 second, my cat is crying. Okay, do we have more brown on the page? We have these bits, but let me use another brown so that it won't be the same as the hair. Okay, and And let's also use something. Let's use some warm gray. Just to blend that in. Okay. Next, I will leave the accessories for later because we can do those later, but I do wanna do the bow because I want to do it in the same colors as we did the eyeshadow. So I'm going in with the deep cobalt green. And I'm just going with this one where I want my shadows to be in the bowl, and going heavy-handed where I want more shadow, and then going more light where I don't want too much shadow. Okay, let's also do one here. Okay, and now should we do something in the middle or just go through? Let's also do some green. Let's do some green as a medium color. And blend this darker one. I feel like it's very fast to blend with these pencils because they're so smooth, but they're not like, they are buttery when it comes to blending and the laying them on the page, but they do keep a really good point. I mean, none of them broke so far, and I didn't sharpen any of them. I also want to go with some white or leave some white spaces in the bow, just so it can have a bit of a satin look, like this. Let's also go with some white, just a bit here and there. This white is so good. Also using it to blend this chartreuse into the greens, but also adding some highlights, looking great. Okay, now let's do the dress, and I do want to do the dress green, but I do want it a bit darker than the bow. I don't know why, I just want it darker. So I'm using the juniper green for the shadows. Okay. Okay, I don't understand if these are pants or is it a dress. Either way, I'm going with the same pencil for shading. And then I'm gonna use the same color combos that I used for the bow. And again, I'm going heavy-handed and going lighter on my way to the center of the skirt pants. What are these? And let's add some shadows here as well. Don't know if I should accentuate the fact that these are pants. I would rather them be a skirt so it can be a dress. So I'm not gonna accentuate those, I'm just gonna leave them and maybe add some highlights, or just, I'm gonna go like this just a bit. Just a tiny bit, and then I'm gonna blend it. Okay, oh, and here. Okay, now let's go with the deep cobalt green. That's a nice color combo. And I'm leaving a lot of space because I do want to use the chartreuse as a highlight, but also use some white. Just for some dramatic effects. Okay. I think I will use some Posca over this fur just to accentuate the fluffiness of the fur. Okay, and then going in over the skirt pants, whatever these are. I think it's like a dress, and this is a skirt, and this is like a seam on it, I think. Okay, I like how that is looking. Now let's go with the chartreuse and just blending this last part, but leaving some space for the white. And this is looking very, very festive, very Grinch-like. Okay. Colors are blending together very nicely. And I like that you can also smush them, but you can also blend them, so you're not limited to one technique. But I do like better to smush them just because it's faster. But this section I layered just a bit, and it's working the same. Like, it's working okay for layering as well. Okay. I feel like it needs more of that blue, deep cobalt green, this one. Just a tiny bit here and there around these accessories here, and just a tiny bit darker. And here as well. Okay, that's looking great. And I do want to add some white on top, and just to blend that chartreuse into the white and into, oh, I forgot here we have some parts here as well that I forgot about. Also using chartreuse and some white. Okay, moving on and blending that chartreuse into the cobalt with this white, and highlighting a bit. So we do have a lot of layers here of colors, and the white is still pigmented. Where we have a lot of layers, it's blending out all of the colors underneath. And where we have some bits of pages without any pigment, I can just drag that white over, and it's working great. Okay, white, I see you, I see you. Doing a magnificent job. Okay, we have the dress, so now let's color the sleeves. I don't know if we should do the fur pink. I think it would look great. Should we do the fur pink with these sides? Let's do the sleeves. And I do want to do the sleeves with this red purple, and let's do crimson. Okay, so let's have shadow here, and going heavy-handed and then lighter. And on the other lines I'm gonna do just a bit of gray to be red with white, and I'm just gonna add some gray into some shadows. This dark red is looking gorgeous, like a raspberry red. And on this side, we also have some shadows here. This red is looking gorgeous. Okay, let's go with the crimson over, just because it's a lighter red, but I'm not going into the margins. I'm leaving just a little bit of space so I can blend that light part into the red. Here as well, I'm leaving a white part into the middle. Okay, and on the other parts, I'm gonna use a warm gray 4. No, it's a cold gray, wait. Oh, I have it here. The warm gray 3. And I'm just gonna use it on this part and just a tiny bit, just to accentuate some shadows, because I want these parts to look white. Okay. I'm gonna blend it out better with some white. Okay, now let's do some white. Let's just clean. Oh. Two pencils just rolled off my desk. I just want to clean the tip of the white just a little bit because I've been using it over that green. Oh my god, this is so pigmented. Okay, so let's blend this gray. And I also want to blend the red here. Just a bit. Okay, now, oh, we also have here, wait, we also have this part. Okay, let's blend it with the lighter red. I think this was crimson. Yeah, crimson. Blended it a bit here, here as well. Leave some space for the white. Oh, and we also have some warm gray 3 that we are gonna add here just a bit. And let's blend firstly this gray, and then we're gonna blend the red. Okay, Yeah, I think we're gonna use some pink. Yeah, let's do some pink. Should we do this pink madder with this one? And I also want something darker. Yeah, let's do light crimson. So we're doing light crimson as a shadow. And we're also gonna do the light crimson on the gloves, because I think it's looking nice. Okay, let's do the other one. I love how this is looking so far. And I think I was pretty fast. I mean, we already have a small page completed, and now the second one. I feel like I'm working very fast with these pencils, but we still have a lot to go on this page. Here I'm just gonna do this darker color on the center of the fur and just going lighter on the outer part, and then we are also gonna blend with the lighter pinks. And maybe we can do some acrylic on top just to fluff out a bit that fur. We also have fur here, so we're gonna do the same thing. I'm just heavy-handed on the center and then going lighter on the extremities. I'm also gonna use some white to help blend this fur on the tips, and I'm also gonna use a lighter pink. Okay, now let's use the pink madder. Is this light enough to create? Don't feel like it's light enough. Let's try with the baby pink. Yeah, this one's better. So we're gonna go with the baby pink just to blend the previous color, and we're also gonna use white to accentuate. do this part as well. Okay, now let's do some white. Now I really feel the need to sharpen this white because I used it a lot. Excuse the noise. So I used my Dale 133 and it sharpened great. And I do want to use it to accentuate these bits. I did apply a lot of pressure there. I want to accentuate these tips for the fur. And I think I'm also gonna use some acrylic gel pens just to fluff out the fur and add some texture to the page. I like how this white is so pigmented. I can rectify a lot of mistakes here because I did went over the fluff part with the green and then I went over with pink, and now with the white you can't even see my mistakes. Okay, adding some more white to the tips here. Okay, I just observed now we have no crumbles. We have no crumbles and I love that. So we'll just leave the accents. Wait, we have more pink here. I just wanted to say let's do the accents at the end, and I wanted to start on the snowman. But let me just add this baby pink, baby pink, on the gloves as well because I forgot about the gloves, and also add a little bit of white and then do the snowman. Okay, let's do the snowman. I want to do the snowman with this Caribbean Sea because it's such a light blue and I feel like this would be perfect to do like a shadow of the snow. But we also have that cream light from here, so I want that cream light to hit the snowman on the side, on his right side, on our left side, and on his left side, on our right side, sorry. And let's also do some shadow with this light ultramarine. Let's add just a little bit of shadow here under the hat and here under his head just a bit, and maybe here just a tiny bit. Okay, and now I want to add some cream. Where's the cream? Oh, I have it here. I want to add the cream just a tiny bit on him, but I don't want to combine the cream with the blue to obtain green. so we're gonna keep them quite separate. Okay, like that. And let's do his nose, and let's combine pale vermilion with this orange. And I also want something yellow on top, so we're gonna do this dark chrome yellow. Perfect. Okay, and what color should his hat be? Should it be green? No, because the green is her color. Let's do it black. Let's do the hat black with a red ribbon here. Wow, this black is really black. Okay, and now I want to transition this black into a lighter green so we can add that cream in the right part of it. So I'm going extremely light with this black, harder here and softer here. Okay, and we are gonna use a warm brown, a warm gray. What is this? Walnut brown. Sounds good. We're going with walnut brown, and we're leaving just a tiny bit space just to add that cream for the highlight. Okay. Let's see how that cream will look. Okay, it's looking okay. Like that. Look at the gingerbread. Doesn't they look the same? It's so cute. Okay, let's do the gingerbread man. Let's put a bit of red purple. He also has some frosting on his head. And let's use this light cinnamon. Okay, I wanna have these accents on the hand red. The topping can be white, pink, white. Let's go with pink, with seashell pink, although it's quite similar to the color that we have here, so we're gonna blend it with white. And let's add some black here and in the eyes and mouth, and maybe add some brown as a shadow. What brown is it? It's burnt umber, to add some shading to him, just a tiny bit. Okay, let's also add the black to the snowman's eyes. And back with the burnt umber. Okay, now let's do the, where's that, red purple, with the red purple, and then we're gonna go with crimson, I think it's called. Yeah, very easy to pick up the names of the colors. Okay, now let's go with some white. And some cream. And some white in here. And I do want some more black into this part of the hat. Okay, and to his mouth. And we also need to color his little heart, and I'm going in with crimson. And next I'm gonna use the cinnamon, the light cinnamon. Okay, and what can we do? I also want to do some golden bits. Now I'm gonna do the same as these buttons. I'm gonna go in with black and the burnt umber, I think. Yeah, burnt umber. Okay, and I think we're done. For the rest, I do want to use some gel pens and acrylic markers, so I just forgot to put the pencils back on the trays, and I'm just keeping them in hand and picking them. So I need to reorganize the colors. I will add some glittery bits and use some gel pens, and I'll be right back with the finished page. So I just finished this one. I added some glittery bits to the accents, to the accessories. I also sharpened the black, and I wanted to accentuate her lashes. And I think this page is finished. I also fixed her with hairspray, yeah. And I also added some glittery bits on the accessories. I also added some acrylic markers on the fur so it will look more fluffy. And I also added some Posca on her eyelids just so that the eyeshadow looks a bit more glittery. And I think that's all I've done. And now I also want to pick a page in Rita Berman's book just to test that paper as well. So far it was, the pencils were great on top of Ohuhu on Create Space paper, the Amazon printed paper. This paper, which is 160 GSM cold press, no, it's hot pressed paper, so it's a very smooth paper. I did get a lot of good blend on this one, and also I could smoosh the colors together. I didn't take a lot of time to blend everything perfectly, but using a blender or taking my time, I would have achieved a perfect blend. But I just wanted to test them on multiple papers. So now let's pick a page from Rita's book. I had this one in mind, this Christmas wreath, just because it's looking very Christmassy and we are in December and I did want to color something Christmassy. So I think I'll pick this one because we can also do some glittery bits on this one, these ones on the exterior, and it's also Christmas themed, so we can do this in December. For this one, I don't think I'm gonna add a background or something. I don't know. I think I'll leave it like this for now. I don't know if I will add a distressing or soft pastel background, but so far it's done. Okay, and now let's do something with this one. Okay, so I zoomed you in a bit, and I think I'm gonna maintain the Christmassy colors, the traditional ones like red, green, gold, brown, and I'm gonna keep this page traditional as well, just to have 3 traditional Christmas colors, color pages, and 3 different type of papers. And let's start. Let's do some, not this one. I mixed up the pencils because I didn't put them in their place and I need to recheck them. This is crimson, and I'm going with crimson just to do some shadow on these mistletoes. Are they mistletoes? Because I want to do them like an orange yellow bit, but I do want some shadow first, so I'm quickly doing some shadows with this crimson on all of them. Sometimes I'm not even going all the way, just to leave a bit of highlight, because I feel like it looks good. Okay, I'm leaving this one aside just because I might use it again if I forgot any berries here. And now I want to do some orange. And I'm going over but also blending it outwards a bit. And on the exterior I think I'm gonna use some cream or cadmium yellow. I want them to be a bit orange yellowish just because I want these flowers to be red, like fiery red, and that's why I don't want these mistletoes to be also red. Okay, and let's do the exterior with cream. And I'm not going all the way, I'm just leaving a bit of white just for some texture. Okay, let's do the flowers. The flowers, I want them to be, where's that raspberry color? Is it red purple or, yeah, it's red purple. I want to do this one for the shadow here, and I want to do them like cold red. And I think I'm gonna leave these bits to do with the glitter, because I think they would look cool with red glitter on the outside. Gosh, I love this color. Wasn't this like a popular color like 5-10 years ago? Like Bordeaux or maroon. What was the color? Burgundy something. I forgot the color, it had a name. Very vibrant color when I'm going heavy-handed with this one. All of the colors that are mid-tones or darker colors are very vibrant. I also like this palette of this color and that orange. I think it would look great with a lot of browns, and we do have brown elements here, and with natural greens, like the greens that go more into a brown and the warm greens. Okay, and I'm leaving these beads I'm leaving them so I can do them with red glitter. Okay, what should we do next? Should we do some leaves? Let's do some leaves. Let's do them with Hooker's green, and I'm using this one as the shadow. And now I'm gonna use olive green for the medium tone, so I'm blending this one just a bit, but I'm leaving space. And I think I'm gonna do cream on the outside for some highlights. That cream color is perfect for highlights, but also for illuminating the area and blending into white if you also leave some white spaces. I feel like it looks great. Okay, do we have any more leaves like that one? Yes, we do. We have here. Okay, do we have more? No. Okay. Going in with olive green. Oh, there's another one. And going in with the cream color again on the outside parts. I didn't leave a lot of space here for the white. Okay. Oh, we didn't do these ones. Let's do these ones with, I want a what is this one? Chili pepper. Let me look a bit here because I ruined the order of the pencils. I need crimson. Let's see, crimson, crimson, crimson. And I'm leaving the outer part so I can go in with maybe a pink. And here I'm not leaving a space because we have shadows. Here I'm leaving here. Okay, and what should we do for the highlights? Should we do this? What is this? Light salmon? Let's try it. Okay, okay. Maybe it's too yellow. Let's try with the baby pink. But let me erase that bit because I don't like it. And it's erasing wonderfully. Let me go back with some crimson again here because I erased too much. And let's go with baby pink. Yeah, much better. Okay, just because I wanted to keep these flowers a bit more cold. Okay, let's go with the crimson in the other petals here. This color combo looks amazing. I need to note it down for my future pages. And with baby pink. Also leaving some white space because I feel like it gives the page a little bit more texture. Leaving a bit of white, just a tiny bit. Okay, what should we do next? Let's do some bits with brown, and let's use some dark brown. And let's sharpen it a bit so it can be pointy. And let's do this bit here. I'm really heavy-handed with my coloring and I didn't get a lot of breakage. Like, I got a minimal breakage just because I'm heavy-handed, but I like that the pencils are not crumbly. You know, when you have some pencils that are a bit on the pastel textured side and you got a lot of crumbs when you color. I hate that. I hate messy stuff. Let's also do this. I'm searching for bits that are like branches so we can do them brown. Do we have more? Okay, let's do the rest of the branches with, let's also sharpen this one. Also leaving a bit of white for highlight. Okay, what should we do? We do have some flowers here and there. And what color should we do them? Should we do them pink with the yellow in the center? Let's do them pink but with this cinnamon. Yeah, I'm using the light cinnamon. I love this color. And I feel like this one could be a dusty white. This flower. I like that. Okay, let's do some dusty white flowers with yellow in the center, but we're gonna leave the center and we're gonna do the center with golden gel pens. And for this one, I think I'm gonna do the same and leave the margins for glitter. I'm trying to keep everything neutral and leave red and green to be the main colors of this page, and the rest could be like brown, neutral colors. Don't want to interfere with the palette too much. And let's do some more leaves here with the same color combo. We have hooker's green here, and then we're gonna go in with olive green. Leaving some white there. Okay, and let's do some more leaves. Back with the olive green. And I see on the right here we do have some more leaves. And let's go do these ones. Back with the olive green. Okay, do we have more of these leaves? So we have a few there. Back with the olive green. Okay, where should we put? We do have some bits here. Let's do these ones yellow, but I do want some. What's this one? Cadmium. Yeah, I do want to do. Oops, I don't want to do these ones yellow, but I do want some darker yellow first, like this dark Naples ochre. And with this cadmium, light cadmium yellow. I don't really see the shadow. Should we do this green gold? I feel like I need more shadows into these ones. Okay, do we have more? Let's also do this one because I forgot it. And we can now have diversity. So we're gonna have this one yellow. Okay, and let's do these ones as well. Okay, and these ones. See, we have one here and this one. The ones that are not attached, I'm gonna do them with glitter gel pens, like these ones. Okay. Okay, let's color some acorns. And I'm going in with dark brown. Heavy-handed, then releasing the pressure. Here, the same way. Do we have more? We have more of those yellow berries. Okay, let's also do this pine, how do you call it? Forgot how you call this one. Pine fruit? Pine corn? And I'm going in with this dark brown and the shadows. Okay, and now I'm going in with sienna brown, leaving some white space on the right side. Okay, let's also go on the top of the acorns, here and here. And let's use some burnt ochre for this part of the acorn. And some cream. Where's my cream? Cream. Okay, and what should we do next? We also have a flower here. Let's give her some cinnamon. Okay, let's do, I want to do some juniper green. Let me I want it to be pointy, so I can do these bits here, and I'm just gonna do them with this color. Don't think I'm gonna add anything else. Maybe I'll add some white to highlight just a bit. We have here. I'm having a blast with these pencils. Very versatile. I can really use them in a lot of ways, and the color palette is really helping. I mean, it's a very well structured color palette. I'm grateful we don't have metallics, so we do have 2 extra colors that could have been gold and silver, so thanks Woomer for that. And I'm having a blast. I thought that I would film this review on multiple days, but I'm just having a blast. Oh, this was a leaf. These weren't. Okay, sorry. Let me just erase these parts. They erased very well. And speaking of having a blast, oh my god, I've been here for about 3 hours. Okay. I was expecting to film this over a couple of days just to color the 3 pages and test on different pages, but it seems like I was having too much fun and time just flew by. Yeah, time flies when you're having fun. Let's also integrate this green into these little leaves. What was that? Juniper green. Where do we have more? Let's also do this one here, so we can integrate this green because it's pretty. If I finish this in like 3 hours, I could have a record like 3 pages finished in 3 hours. Sounds like a challenge, like 3 pages, 1 pencil set, 1 goal. Okay, where should I put? Should I put it here? Let's put it here as well. I love Rita Berman's pages. They're always so fun to color and very relaxing. And I don't feel the pressure to make everything realistic as textures and highlights, shadows, stuff like that. I'm just having fun and enjoying my new pencils. Okay, let's also do these ones. Okay, let's do this olive green. Not going all the way through because I do love me some white on the outside of the leaf. Okay, I also have these ones. Let's do these ones also with this yellow color combination because it was fun. And these ones, didn't see them. I can do some Posca later for some highlights here and there. Okay, what do you have? Let's use another green. Let's do this deep cobalt or cobalt turquoise, but these are too bluish. I would like a more warm, or should we use brown? Let's use some brown. Let's see how it's looking with some brown and some juniper green. It looks vibrant. Okay, I like it. So I'm just doing this brown on the inside to create shadows, just because I don't want to use the more cooler greens. I want to maintain this Christmassy warm green vibe, and I'm doing these ones a bit darker just so they could be more intense. Okay, I like that. And let's go to this one. Again with the brown. Back with the green. I like that vibrancy that we're getting. So we're gonna use the same color palette, the same color combination on all of these leaves. We can also leave some white there. Okay, we have one more. On some of the leaves I'm leaving a bit of white for highlight, and on some of them I didn't, just to have more diversity in the page. I don't always like for all the stuff to be colored in the same way, because I feel like it's more natural when the leaves are not colored in the same exact way and the same color combination. That's just me. Okay. Now what should we do? What do we have left? We have these bits. Oh, these bits, and the rest I will do with... Wait, we also have another part here. And the rest I will do with glitter gel pens, and we have another page finished. Okay, what should we do these ones? I feel like they could be... Should we use brown again? Should we do them brown? Let's do these ones different. Let's do these ones with the juniper green and the olive green. And the exterior will be glitter gel pen. And for the other ones, I don't know yet. I don't know what color to do these ones. Blue? No, I'm ruining the vibe. Pink? No. Help me. Not pink. Should I do them brown? Let's do them brown. Let's do them... dark brown with sienna brown. Let me find them. Where's the dark brown? Dark brown. So let's do some dark brown on the interior. And we're gonna do some sienna brown I feel like these are some dried up flowers, leaves, something festive. Because it's a Christmas wreath, right? So we do have a lot of stuff that's Christmassy in this one, and these bits are just dried up leaves and flowers. Yeah, because we do have a lot of green and I don't want any more green in here. And maybe we can do some glitter gold in the middle in that part. I think that would look cool. Okay, I think this is the first video in which I'm coloring in real time. I don't really do these kinds of videos on my channel because they take a while, and I usually, when I color, I do something like I listen to a podcast, like true crime or a documentary or something, and when I'm not feeling that inspired. And I don't intend to do more of these, maybe when I review other products, but other than that I don't think I'll do videos like this one, because I do plan on doing this kind of content on my membership, on my future membership that I think I will launch next year, maybe in March, something like that. And yeah, this kind of content will be on there, like real-time coloring, talking to you guys. I put up a poll on my community where we voted which book to color into on my membership, and you guys voted the Rita Berman Little Adventures coloring book with Prismacolors, so that's what I'm gonna do on my channel. Of course, I'm gonna have other color alongs and coloring videos and tutorials and tips and tricks and so on, but I'll leave you guys to vote for the content. I love this combination. It's looking dry, but it's giving festive. And with that gold glitter gel pen that I'm gonna put over on this line, I think it will look great. But we'll see. If not, I'll fix it somehow. Okay, and then we have this part and we are done, and I'm gonna add my glitter magic on this page. Okay, so we are done. I'm gonna speed up the process and add my glitter gel pens and highlight some items with Posca, and I'll be right back. And we have another page finished, and I did use some glitter gel pens for these margins that I think they brought a lot of depth to the flowers and the leaves. I did use some white Posca for the middle of these berries here, and I also added the gel pens, the glittery gel pens, to these bubbles on the outer part. I did smudge some glitter gel pens here and here, but maybe I will do something in the background in the future. And this is my third completed page using the Woomer coloring pencils. And let me just zoom you out. Okay, so we have this one from Rita Berman. We have this cute one from Joshua Dunbar. And we also have this pretty lady from Pinups from Amandine Young. All of them using the Woomer pencils one way or another. For this one we used the pencils for shading and highlighting, and they worked amazingly over the Ohuhu. For this one we used a smooth warm pressed, hot pressed paper of 160 GSM, really smooth paper, and they worked great on this one. And on the Rita Berman coloring page, which has a really common paper. It's the same paper used for Corby Rosanes books, and you can find this amazing paper in a multitude of coloring books. So I did use this one because it was a popular one. So we tested a lot of coloring pages here. Not a lot, but I think 3 completed coloring pages is quite a good number for testing some pencils. And what can I tell you? Let's see. Let's start with the cons. The cons of the pencils. First of all, the swatch chart could be integrated in one single page. Maybe do the squares a bit smaller, because to be honest, we don't really need the swatch chart, because the barrel is the exact same color of the core of the pencil, so you don't really need a swatch chart. But if you want to keep track of the order in which you have the pencils, you could need a swatch chart, and I think it's a good idea to have the swatch chart inside the wrapping cardboard thing, but it would be easier to have them in a single piece of paper. Also, this one doesn't really match the pencils. They are really dark and they don't reflect the pencil. If let's say this, because the box was in a sigil, and this was visible, and if I would saw this, I would say, oh, these are too dark, but they aren't. So they are not reflecting the reality. I see here the color swatch is only for reference, but they don't really reflect the reality. Okay, so let's go with the pencil. For the pencils, to be honest, my single say in what to improve about the pencils is that sometimes I was struggling to see the name of the color due to the golden ink here, especially for the darker pencils. It's quite hard to see it, but to be honest, I do prefer the gold ink, and I don't see a solution in which you can use an ink on all of the pencils, because okay, you can use white on this one and you can use black on this one, but this means to have different ink color on the pencils, and I would hate that. So gold ink for numbering system and for the color names is a perfect one. Maybe just adjust the font, because just sometimes it's hard to see the color name. Other than that, to be honest, I don't really have any cons for this pencil set. As you can see, I finished 3 coloring pages with them, and I sharpened just a tiny bit the black because I wanted to use on the eyelashes, this one because I used a lot, these 2 because I wanted to use them on those branches that were quite thin, and the white because I use a lot of it. Other than that, I didn't sharpen anything else. And for the Pro, the pencils are buttery smooth, they are vibrant. I thought that the pastel ones were having a bit of too much filler when I swatched them, but then when I used them, I saw that they didn't, because when I wanted to go over and highlight some areas, the pastel ones were very pigmented, so they were very vibrant, and you can use the lighter colors to go over darker colors, and they are highly pigmented. They do not contain a lot of filler, so they are amazing. In a 72 set, this is the greatest combination of colors that I've ever seen in a 72 pack, just because you have colors that you can use in skin tone, you have pastels, you have a lot of pastels, you have a balance between all the colors. You don't have silver or gold as you have in all of the coloring pencil set, and they are useless, to be honest. I don't know who used them. Personally, I do not use the silver and the gold. They do not look good. I prefer to make a color combination to acquire that effect that I need for the gold or for the silver. And one of my cats just joined. Hello. And the medium colors, the medium shades are vibrant and are just perfect. You have the perfect amount of cold and warm tones for every color. You have a decent amount of purples. You have the perfect range of pinks. You are not missing anything in this set, to be honest. You're not missing anything. And what you're missing, you can combine, because they blend like butter, and I absolutely love them. They do hold a nice tip. I am very heavy-handed. None of the tips broke on me, although I am really heavy-handed. And after I sharpened these ones, I thought that, oh, maybe they will crumble. They crumbled like in a minimal way on my heavy hand. So no crumbles when you're coloring, no snapped tips. They sharpened well with my Dale 133, and I have nothing to say against them, to be honest. I absolutely love them. Yeah, I will be using these ones more frequently. You will see them on my channel because I absolutely love them. And I will leave you the link to this pencil set in the description, and I hope you will have as much fun as I did with these ones. And let's just take into consideration that this is a budget pencil set. This is not a premium pencil set. This is a budget one, and it's not feeling like a budget one, which is amazing. So yeah, this was my video for you today. I hope you enjoyed it. It was a long one. Interrupting the video just to show you guys some information that I just found out. So you can find Woomer pencils on Amazon. And you can just click on the product, and then you can go to the Woomer store here, and you can see they have more products. They also have some pencils, they have some dual tip acrylic markers, gel pens, watercolor paper, and so on. But the interesting thing that I found on their website, I will leave you the link to the products that I mentioned. On their website, if you go to woomerart.com, currently you cannot order from this website because they have an issue with the PayPal, but I think they will resolve this soon, and you can access the website copying this password. Use this one here, paste the password, enter, and you can access the website. And on the website, I want to show you something exciting. Colored pencils, single pencil, and here they have open stock. They have open stock for the pencils, and the price is like, this is below $1, so it's very inexpensive for the quality that they have. And I will also have a discount coupon for you guys, and the code is ZAKET, ZAKET. I will leave you the code in the description as well. And yeah, this is what I wanted to interrupt the video, just because I didn't know they have open stock. So they do have open stock, and they will also release a 90 color set. So now I presented you the 72 set, and they also have a 90 color set. And to avoid the duplicate colors, you can also purchase them open stock. So this is a big plus for me. Yeah, this is what I wanted to show you, so back to the video. And I had really great fun with this one. I thought that it would take me a few days to do this one, but I just done it in a day because I was having so much fun. Vivi is still here saying hi, hello. Yeah, so thank you guys for joining me. See you in the next one, and until then, take care, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell if you want to be noticed when I post. See ya, bye.